All right, so today we're diving into your notes on three Indian states, and
Okay.
Bihar, Madhya Pradesh,
Yeah.
and Odisha. We're kind of going beyond the typical India 101 stuff.
Right.
Less yoga and curry, more like hidden gems and cultural deep cuts. You ready?
Absolutely. India's diversity is really its superpower,
Okay.
and these three states are a perfect example.
Yeah.
Each one has its own personality, history, and cultural quirks that go way beyond the usual tourist narrative.
Okay, so first up is Bihar,
Okay.
which you've got labeled as land of scholars.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm picturing like dusty libraries and ancient scrolls.
Yeah,
Right track.
you're getting there. Bihar is definitely home to some of India's oldest universities, places like Nalanda and Vikramshila.
Hmm?
But here's where it gets interesting. Your notes point out that these weren't just like ivory towers. Nalanda, for example, attracted students from all across Asia, not just for religious studies, but for medicine, astronomy, even politics.
So it was less about rote learning and more like a global hub for intellectual exchange back in the day.
Exactly.
That's kind of blowing my mind.
And what's fascinating is how this legacy of scholarship kind of intertwines with Bihar's spiritual side.
Yep.
You've got Bodh Gaya, marked as a major pilgrimage site. That's where Buddha achieved enlightenment.
Right.
No?
So in Bihar, we've got this blend of like deep thinking and deep spirituality.
Yeah.
But I have to admit, my research tends to gravitate towards the, shall we say, the tastier side of things.
Okay.
What kind of culinary adventures are waiting in Bihar?
Well, I've got something in your notes that has definitely piqued my curiosity. Litti Chokha eating competitions.
Oh, yeah.
These wheat balls stuffed with spiced graham flour seem to be a big deal.
Yeah.
You even have a note here about the cultural significance of it all.
Yeah. I remember reading that litti chokha isn't just food in Bihar. It's almost like a symbol of the region's resilience. It's made with simple ingredients cooked over an open fire. There's a connection to the land and a history of resourcefulness there.
That's a great point. And these eating competitions, maybe they're not just about who can eat the most.
Right. But also about celebrating that heritage and connection.
Yeah.
It's like food is a cultural touchstone.
That's such an interesting perspective. I'm starting to see why you always say food is the best way to understand a culture.
Yeah.
Okay, so Bihar has ancient wisdom, spiritual significance, and competitive eating.
Mm-hmm.
My interest is officially piqued. What's next on our itinerary?
Let's journey to the heart of India, literally.
Okay.
Madhya Pradesh is geographically at the center of it all. And your research hints that its culture is just as diverse.
I see a note here about the Bhimbetka rock shelters. Prehistoric cave paintings, right? That sounds incredible.
Imagine this. You're walking through these caves and you're surrounded by images painted over 30,000 years ago. Hunting scenes, animals, even abstract patterns. It's like a window into the minds of the very first people to call this region home.
It's amazing how art can connect us across millennia like that. But you've also got Bhopal gas tragedy highlighted in your notes for Madhya Pradesh.
Right.
That's a much darker chapter, isn't it? It is. The Bhopal gas leak in 1984 was a devastating industrial accident with consequences that continue to this day.
Yeah.
It raises some tough questions about industrial responsibility, environmental safety, and the human cost of progress.
That's a stark reminder that even amidst incredible beauty and ancient history,
Yeah.
there are these very real, complex issues that we can't ignore.
Yeah,
It definitely adds another dimension to our understanding of Madhya Pradesh.
it does. And it highlights the importance of looking at a place from multiple angles.
Right.
But Madhya Pradesh also holds a certain magic.
Yeah.
Your notes mention tigers in Bandhavgarh and the inspiration for Kipling's Jungle Book in Pench National Park.
Oh, yeah. I'm a sucker for anything Jungle Book related.
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing to think about those stories coming to life in these lush landscapes. So we've got prehistoric art, a stark reminder of industrial responsibility, and the potential for tiger sightings. Madhya Pradesh is definitely full of contrasts. But we've got one more state to explore, Odisha, the land of temples. What kind of spiritual journey awaits us there?
Well, your notes highlight the Jagannath Temple, which is a major pilgrimage site.
Right.
But Odisha's temple architecture goes beyond the purely religious. You've got the Konark Sun Temple flagged as a UNESCO World Heritage Site. It's designed like a giant chariot dedicated to the sun god, complete with intricate carvings.
Okay, I can already picture that.
Yeah.
And it's epic.
It's pretty amazing.
But your notes also mentioned something about turtles.
Yes.
That seems a bit unexpected amidst all the temples.
It might seem that way,
Yeah.
but it speaks to another layer of Odisha's character.
Okay.
Gaharmatha Beach is one of the world's largest nesting grounds for olive ridley turtles. It's a reminder that amidst ancient traditions and stunning architecture, there's this vital need to protect the natural world.
It sounds like Odisha is a place where spirituality and nature are deeply intertwined. I'm already feeling drawn to its unique energy.
And that's just the tip of the iceberg. What we've uncovered so far about these three states is just a starting point.
Yeah.
Remember, India's beauty lies in its layers.
Right.
The more we peel back, the more fascinating it becomes.
All right, so we've gotten a taste of Bihar's scholarly and spiritual legacy, Madhya Pradesh's mix of ancient wonders and modern complexities, and Odisha's blend of grand temples and fragile ecosystems. I'm already hooked. What's next on our deep dive itinerary?
Welcome back to our exploration of India. We've just scratched the surface of these incredible states, and there's so much more to uncover. Ready to dive deeper.
Absolutely. I'm especially curious to learn more about those ancient universities in Bihar.
Mm.
We talked about how they were hubs of global learning, but what made them so special back then?
We'll take Nalanda University, for example. Your notes mention its massive library. We're talking thousands of manuscripts on everything from Buddhist scriptures to philosophy, astronomy, and even political theory. It was a treasure trove of knowledge that drew scholars from as far away as China and Korea.
It sounds like a precursor to the modern research university, but centuries ahead of its time. What about the teaching methods? Were they lecturing in giant amphitheaters like we see in movies?
Actually, your notes point to something quite different. It seems that debate and discussion were central to the learning experience at Nalanda. Scholars would engage in rigorous philosophical debates, challenging each other's interpretations and refining their understanding through dialogue.
That's so cool. It sounds like a much more dynamic and engaging way to learn than just passively absorbing information.
Yeah.
But let's not forget about those litti choka eating competitions. I'm still curious to hear more about them.
Ah, yes. It seems that litti choka is more than just a delicious dish in Bihar. It's deeply ingrained in the culture. And these competitions, they're not just about gluttony. You've got a note here about how they often take place during festivals or community gatherings, almost like a shared ritual.
Oh, yeah, I remember reading that. It's almost like a test of strength and endurance, but also a celebration of community and shared heritage. Kind of like how Thanksgiving in the U.S. is about more than just the turkey. It's about family and tradition.
Exactly. Food often plays that role. It brings people together and strengthens social bonds. And in a place like Bihar, where agriculture is so important, these food traditions are a tangible link to the land and the people's history.
I'm starting to see litti choka in a whole new light.
Yeah.
Okay, so Bihar has blown us away with its ancient wisdom, flavorful traditions, and vibrant culture. But Madhya Pradesh is calling, and I'm ready to time travel back to those incredible cave paintings. What can you tell me about the artists who created them?
Well, we don't know their names, of course, but your research suggests they were surprisingly sophisticated. The Bhimbetka paintings aren't just crude stick figures. You've got detailed depictions of animals, hunting scenes, dances, even abstract symbols and geometric patterns.
That's incredible. It's just a complex understanding of art and symbolism and maybe even a form of visual communication.
Exactly. And the range of colors they used is fascinating. They would grind natural pigments from ochre limestone and even plant extracts to create shades of red, yellow, white, and black. It shows a real mastery of their environment and a deep connection to the natural world.
It's amazing to think about the skill and creativity it took to create these masterpieces using only the resources available to them thousands of years ago. It makes you wonder about their daily lives, their beliefs, their dreams. It's like a puzzle we're trying to piece together. But let's fast forward a bit to the Bhopal gas tragedy. It's a stark contrast to the beauty and wonder of those cave paintings.
It is. And it's a reminder that progress isn't always linear and that industrial development can have devastating consequences. What strikes me about the Bhopal tragedy is that it's not just a historical event, it's an ongoing issue. Your research mentions the long-term health effects that continue to impact survivors and their families.
Right. The effects of that night continue to ripple through generations, and it raises all sorts of questions about corporate accountability and environmental justice. It's a heavy but important part of Madhya Pradesh's story. But I'm also drawn to the state's vibrant wildlife.
Mm.
What's it like to experience those tiger reserves firsthand?
Imagine this. The sun filtering through the dense canopy, the air thick with the scent of earth and leaves, and the anticipation of spotting a tiger in its natural habitat. Your notes mention Bandhavgarh National Park as having one of the highest tiger densities in India. It's a place where you can witness these majestic creatures in all their power and grace.
Wow, that paints quite a picture. But it's not just about the thrill of seeing a tiger. It's about understanding their role in the ecosystem. the threats they face, and the efforts being made to protect them. It's about appreciating the delicate balance of nature.
That's a crucial point. These reserves aren't just for tourists, they're vital for conservation. And the stories you've highlighted about the local communities working alongside conservationists to protect these animals and their habitats, that's where the real hope lies.
It's a reminder that we're all interconnected, humans and animals alike, and that protecting nature is ultimately about protecting ourselves. Okay, so Madhya Pradesh has given us a lot to think about: ancient art, industrial responsibility, and the delicate dance between humans and wildlife. Now let's shift gears and immerse ourselves in the artistic traditions of Odisha. We've talked about the grand temples, but what else makes this state so culturally rich?
Well, you've highlighted Odissi dance as one of Odisha's most captivating art forms. It's not just about graceful movements, it's about storytelling. Think of the dancers as living sculptures, their bodies weaving intricate narratives through gesture and expression.
I love that living sculptures. So what kind of stories do they tell? Are they based on mythology, history, or everyday life?
Your research mentions a strong connection to Hindu mythology, particularly stories of Lord Krishna and the goddess Radha. But what's fascinating is that Odissi dance goes beyond just reenacting these stories. The dancers interpret them, bringing their own emotions and experiences to the performance.
So it's a living tradition, constantly evolving while still honoring its ancient roots. That's beautiful. But I'm also curious about those intricate carvings on the Konark Sun Temple. What's the significance behind them?
The Konark Sun Temple is a masterpiece of Kalinga architecture. Your notes mention its chariot shape, symbolizing the sun god Surya's journey across the sky. But look closer at the carvings. You'll see depictions of celestial beings, musicians, dancers, even scenes from daily life, a whole microcosm of existence frozen in time.
It's like a visual encyclopedia of life in ancient Odisha. And it makes me wonder, did these carvings serve a religious purpose, or were they more about showcasing the artistry and skill of the craftsman?
That's a great question. And it speaks to the complex interplay of religion, art, and culture in ancient India. Perhaps it was a bit of both, a way to honor the divine while also celebrating human creativity.
I love how these explorations always lead to more questions than answers.
Yeah.
But that's what makes it so fascinating, right? Okay, so we've marveled at the architectural wonders of the Konark Sun Temple. But what about those endangered turtles? What makes Odisha's coast so special for them?
Well, you've noted that the Gaharmatha Beach is one of the few places in the world where olive ridley turtles come en masse to lay their eggs. We're talking hundreds of thousands of turtles. Imagine witnessing that the beach literally teeming with life as these ancient creatures fulfill their primal urge to reproduce. It's a spectacle of nature that's both awe-inspiring and humbling.
Wow, that gives me chills. But it also makes me think about the fragility of life and the importance of protecting these creatures and their nesting grounds. It seems like a constant battle, though, right?
Yeah.
Development versus conservation.
It is. And your research highlights some of the challenges: pollution, habitat loss, even poaching. But there are also inspiring stories of local communities coming together to safeguard these turtles and their nesting sites. It's a testament to the human capacity for compassion and our responsibility as stewards of the planet.
It's like a glimmer of hope amidst the complexity of it all. So we've journeyed through ancient universities, tiger reserves, and turtle nesting grounds. We've tasted virtual nines. Liddy Choka pondered the mysteries of prehistoric art and marveled at the intricate carvings of a sun temple.
And that's just a fraction of what these states have to offer. Each one is a microcosm of India's vast and vibrant cultural tapestry.
I'm already feeling overwhelmed in the best possible way. It's clear we need to take a break and let all this incredible information sink in. But I'm excited to continue our exploration. What else is on the agenda for our final deep dive into these remarkable states? We've explored ancient knowledge and natural wonders and artistic traditions. But what really brings a place to life is its music. You know, the kind of tunes that get stuck in your head and make you want to tap your feet?
Absolutely. Music has a way of capturing the soul of a culture.
Yeah.
It's a window into the heart and history of a people. And from your notes, it looks like each of these states has a soundtrack that's as diverse as its landscapes.
Okay, let's tune in, starting with Bihar. I'm seeing something about Bhojpuri music in your research. What's the vibe like?
Think catchy melodies, often accompanied by traditional instruments like the dholak, a two-headed drum, and the harmonium.
Okay.
Bhojpuri music is hugely popular in Bihar and even spills over into neighboring states. It's the kind of music that gets people dancing at weddings and celebrations.
So it's got that feel-good celebratory energy, but does it go beyond just party anthems?
Definitely. Your notes mention that Bhojpuri music also reflects the realities of rural life. There are songs about love loss, the joys and hardships of farming, even social issues, and political commentary.
Wow.
It's a way for people to express themselves and connect with their community.
It's amazing how music can be both entertaining and thought-provoking at the same time.
Right.
What about the connection to Bihar's classical music tradition?
Here's where things get really interesting. Your research points to a specific style of Hindustani classical music called Dhrupad that flourished in Bihar. It's known for its meditative quality and emphasis on improvisation. Imagine vocalists and instrumentalists engaging in a musical dialogue, creating intricate melodies that seem to unfold in the moment.
Wow, that's a far cry from the pop music we hear on the radio today. It speaks to the depth and richness of Bihar's musical heritage. Okay, let's move on to Madhya Pradesh. What kind of rhythms are we tapping into there?
If we look at the broader context of Madhya Pradesh's music, we see a strong influence from its tribal communities.
Hmm.
Groups like the Gonds and Baigas have their own unique musical traditions, often linked to rituals and storytelling. They use instruments like the dal, a large barrel drum, and the algoza, a double flute, to create music that's both earthy and enchanting.
It's incredible how music can transport us to another time and place.
Hmm.
Are there any particular songs or artists that you think capture the essence of Madhya Pradesh's tribal music?
You've actually highlighted a fascinating ritual called the Karma Dance, performed by the Gond tribe.
Oh, yeah.
The music is hypnotic and repetitive, building in intensity as the dancers move in a circle, their feet pounding the earth in unison. It's a powerful expression of community and connection to nature.
Okay, I'm adding Karma Dance to my musical bucket list. It sounds mesmerizing. All right, let's head east to Odisha now. What's the musical landscape like in this coastal state?
Odisha is known for its classical music tradition, Odissi, which is closely intertwined with its dance form. It's characterized by its graceful melodies and the use of instruments like the veena, a stringed instrument, and the mridangam, a two-headed drum.
So the music and dance complement each other, creating a harmonious whole.
Right.
Are there any other musical traditions in Odisha that stand out?
You've got pala and daskathia highlighted in your notes.
Okay.
These are forms of folk opera that combine music storytelling and dramatic performances. Imagine traveling troupes of artists going from village to village, captivating audiences with tales of God's heroes and everyday life.
It's like a musical journey through Odisha's history and folklore. Speaking of journeys, no exploration of a culture is complete without a little taste of local slang. What linguistic treasures did you find in your research?
Yes. Language is a living, breathing thing, always evolving and reflecting the nuances of a culture.
Right.
In Bihar, you might hear someone say "Ka hal ba," which means "How are you?" in Bhojpuri. It's a simple greeting, but it speaks to the warmth and hospitality of the people.
It's like a little window into the soul of a place.
Right.
What about Madhya Pradesh? Any fun phrases there?
You've got hauji highlighted, which is a common expression in the Bundelkhand region.
Okay.
It can mean yes, okay, or even just a friendly acknowledgement. It's a word that's infused with the laid-back charm of rural Madhya Pradesh.
I love that. It's amazing how a single word can convey so much about a place and its people.
Yeah.
Okay, what about Odisha?
In Odisha, you might hear people say basiba, which is a versatile term that can express agreement, acceptance, or even just a sense of contentment. It reflects a certain serenity and resilience that seems to be characteristic of the Odia people.
So from Bihar's lively Kahalba to Madhya Pradesh's easygoing Hauji to Odisha's serene Basiba, we've gotten a glimpse into the linguistic tapestry of these states. It's incredible how language can add so much flavor to our understanding of a culture.
Absolutely. And what's remarkable is that even though we've only scratched the surface, you've already uncovered so much richness and diversity within these three states. Each one has its own unique rhythm, its own stories to tell its own way of seeing the world.
It's been an incredible journey from ancient universities to tiger reserves to turtle nesting grounds, from spicy street food to soulful music to the everyday phrases that bring these places to life.
And the beauty of it is that this is just the beginning. Your exploration doesn't end here. There are countless other stories waiting to be discovered, countless other layers to peel back.
Exactly. We've only just opened the door to these fascinating states. And we hope we've inspired you to step through and continue exploring on your own.
So as you delve deeper into the heart of India, remember to listen to the music, savor the flavors, and embrace the unexpected.
Yeah.
There's a whole world of wonder waiting to be discovered.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep diving deep.